Championship at Mahidol University International College. Please allow me to demonstrate the timing signals. The constructed speeches are 7 minutes long. At the first minute, you'll hear a clap, meaning that the projected time has ended. At the 6th minute, you'll hear a clap, meaning that the POI period has ended. And at the 7th minute, you'll hear 2 claps, meaning that the speech time has ended. If the speaker is still speaking at 7 minutes and 20 seconds, you will hear 3 claps. If the speaker is still speaking at 7 minutes and 30 seconds, you will hear a continuous clap, meaning you must stop speaking. And as for the reply speeches, they are 4 minutes long. At the 3rd minute, you will hear a clap. And at 4 minutes, you will hear 2 claps. At 4 minutes and 20 seconds, you will hear 3 claps. And at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, you will hear a continuous clap. Today, the government house is being represented by Assumption University Team 1. And the opposition house is being represented by Mahidol University International College Team 1. Representing Team MUIC1, we have Tawin Kim. Panyaran Roke. And Wen Yu Wang. And the motion before the House is, this House believes that the European Union emission trading scheme can serve as a model for carbon trading in Thailand. Judging in this round, we have Ms. Anna Beatrice Martin, Chargée d'Affaires of the Delegation of the European Union to Thailand. Mr. Mabruk Aziz, representing Mahidol University International College. Mr. Zaba Asan, representing Assumption University. Mr. Panupatjit Thiam, representing Chulalongkorn University. Ms. Suisha Jok Thong, representing Khon Kaen University. Mr. John Draper, representing Khon Kaen University. And finally, Mr. Pirakat Ngan Thawi, representing Chulalongkorn University. And now, without any further ado, I would like to invite the Prime Minister to open the debate and propose the affirmative case.
Good afternoon, members of the floor and privileged adjudicators. Ladies and gentlemen, we feel that the government has a responsibility to the current and the future generations of this country to create a sustainable environment economically, but more importantly, environmentally, to permit our own existence, ladies and gentlemen. We feel that the EU ETS system is something that is necessary, a model that is necessary for Thailand to take up on, ladies and gentlemen. I will be justifying this later in my speech, but let me give you a quick background of what this EU ETS system is, ladies and gentlemen. It is an emissions trading scheme that uses cap and trade mechanisms, ladies and gentlemen, placed on industries to try and reduce carbon emissions within these industries. We feel that these carbon emissions are responsible for climate change. By using clean development mechanisms, a standard also used in the Kyoto Protocol for measuring emissions, ladies and gentlemen. Also, a unit used to recognize trade of allowances allocated to companies, ladies and gentlemen. We feel that this will be something, this will be a standard that will allow Thailand to be able to join the rest of the world in trying to find a system that can reduce carbon emissions. Furthermore, we feel that by these allocated allowances on industries and installations will be able to be auctioned for, ladies and gentlemen, and sold according to requirements and surplus, therefore bringing about a balance economically and, more importantly, environmentally that is sustainable, ladies and gentlemen. We feel that there is a need for this, especially in Thailand, because ASEAN and other Asian countries around Thailand have already started and are already on course with their emissions reductions programs, ladies and gentlemen. We feel that they are already ahead of Thailand because most of them, on average, have already implemented over 100 projects. Whereas Thailand, according to its emissions reduction program headed by APICIT, has only proposed 80. However, because the government has already started something upon it, we feel that they have realized and acknowledged the need for them to do something about it. Please sit down. Furthermore, we feel that Thailand being behind other countries is a bad example, and we feel that it's only right for Thailand to do something about this, therefore reinforcing this need for Thailand to catch up to the rest of them, ladies and gentlemen. What we're trying to do with the ETS model is, first and foremost, we're going to impose a cap and trade. We're going to follow this cap and trade system. However, we're going to apply it in its own manner because we feel that Thailand is different from the EU and therefore has needs and requirements different to the EU. We feel that by learning from the experiences that the EU has had in its test phase and in its second phase, we are going to apply it also by using the phase mechanism. Well, what we're doing is that in the first 5 years, we're going to build up infrastructure necessary to deploy this mechanism and make sure it's sustainable and can be carried on in the future. We're going to also build up data, ladies and gentlemen, which we found was a huge, hindrance in setting emissions targets. So we need to build up infrastructure, get the data, so we can get a reasonable emissions target for the future, and therefore we see that this will be some kind of a sustainable system. Furthermore, in the first 5 years, we'll also be subsidizing the green technology that is necessary to reduce emissions, within our industries. And also, this will be in order to make the change more sustainable, because this is the point of employing such a model, to see a reduction. However, if we don't see any technological investment within this area, there will be no reduction. We're going to go and apply this mechanism, first of all, in the first 5 years, to the three main emitters of carbon emissions in these three industries: construction, power, and iron and steel. We're doing this so that we can, first of all, identify the emission data that we need to set our emissions target, and also find a basis to build the infrastructure on. This is our first phase. Our second phase, which will also take about 5 years, is going to be the allocation of carbon emission allowances. This will go to the top 5 dirty industries, which means the top 5 polluting industries within the country. Why do we say top? Why do we include these, ladies and gentlemen? Because they are the contribute to 70% of the carbon emission within this country. This includes iron and steel, paper, petroleum refineries, industrial chemical production, and the power industries. Our third phase is very simple. Now that we'll have had a mechanism with the infrastructure, now that we've practiced it within our past 5 industries, the third phase, which will be put in after these two, will just be setting the final emissions target and applying this policy and allocation applying this policy of allocation of allowances to all sectors. And we feel that by employing this three-step policy, it will be simple, and at the end of the day, allow us a very sustainable, and allow us, by employing this three-step policy, we feel that it's very simple. As we saw how it's stable, in that we've got infrastructure now, we've got the second phase, which is actually us practicing it, and the third phase where everyone is now included. We feel that it's simple enough for everyone to understand, and more importantly, it's easier for people to reach these goals. We emphasize, however, on the first phase in Thailand because of its differing situation to the rest of the world, and more importantly, the EU. We feel that it is justified because the emissions reduction program, which is headed by Prime Minister Pisset, has already established a carbon trading fund, and this will help provide money for the subsidies and the carbon trading should the Thai companies not be able to afford it. Furthermore, we feel it's justified because out of the 80 projects proposed by the emissions reduction program, ladies and gentlemen, only 2 have been generated, have been implemented. However, just these 2 happen to produce and generate 3 billion baht in revenue last year. And we showed you how it is that countries surrounding Thailand have already implemented over 100 projects. So we can clearly see that Thailand is lagging behind, and there's a need and justification for this. My second speaker will come and tell you how it is government responsibility, how government responsibility to the people and the planet is needed in this scenario to achieve sustainability. Furthermore, we also feel that the bid and auction system will create a self-sustaining source of money for funds in the later stages of the system. Ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty clear why this has been implemented. It's obviously for the preservation of the environment, which is our argument. What we feel, ladies and gentlemen, as we can see the current state of the world, what we see an imbalance in the ecosystem. And that is the point of this whole the capping and trade system, whereby we force a balance within emissions we force a balance within emissions so that these companies can reduce the impact they have on their government. So we say we should impose this system, ladies and gentlemen, to guarantee sustainability and create a balance economically and environmentally. Thank you very much.
The speaker spoke for 7 minutes, 47 seconds. 747.